Do magic cards become broken if you remove the upkeep costs? That's what we're going to find out today. We're going to start off with Blizzard, brought to us by Steve Cooper. This is a green enchantment, cumulative upkeep 2, but not today. No upkeep at all. We're just going to evaluate the card as if that didn't exist. You can't cast Blizzard if you control no snow-covered islands. Easy enough. Sorry. Snow-covered lands. Easy enough. We have snow-covered forests in play. Creatures with flying do not untap during their controller's untap phase. Honestly, I think this would just be like a regular card. Maybe not broken, but it wouldn't be that insane. It's not like it's removal. I can't remember what card this sort of replicates, but your opponent can still attack you. Now, the creatures, they're not going to untap. By the way, it only affects the flying creatures. You can still be attacked relentlessly on the ground. So this would be just more of a sideboard card. So anyway, it's fine. Definitely not broken, though. Just maybe barely. Maybe it's not even playable. I would think it'd be okay, but maybe I'm dead wrong about it. Okay, Kano with Brand. By the way, it can be any upkeep costs. It doesn't have to be just cumulative upkeep. Could be echo, could be some sort of downside at upkeep. Okay, Brand of Ill Omen, I think. Brand of Ill Omen, the 4-mana enchant creature. Target creature's controller cannot cast summon spells. Ooh, interesting. It's only creature spells. I think this is still fine. I don't think it's broken. I think it'd be just okay. And I'll tell you why, because the opponent, it's almost like removal for the creature. So you can deal with one of two ways. You can kill your own creature, or you can just blow up the enchantment. So there's two ways. All roads lead to Rome. And until then, you just can't creature spells, but you can cast everything else. Instants, sorceries, artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers. It's not like you don't play the game at all. And it's 4 mana. It's still 4 mana. Definitely not broken. Next up, let's look at Illusions of Grandeur by Nathaniel. Oh, that's a weird one. Okay, so it's a 4-mana enchantment. It's a 4-mana life gain in blue. When it comes into play, you're going to gain 20 life, and when it leaves play, you're going to lose 20 life. I actually have to say that I don't even think this is going to be that good. Now, I do understand that there's... It's funny, there used to be a combo called Illusions Donate, where you gain the 20 life, you donate it to somebody. They didn't gain anything, but then they have to pay the cumulative upkeep cost. That actually taking away the upkeep weirdly makes this card worse. This card is better with an upkeep cost, my coffee crew. But actually taking the upkeep cost away, it actually makes the card like not a combo card. It's just 4 mana, gain 20 life, which by the way is not exactly permanent, because we can all know that you can very easily destroy it, and they're going to lose the life anyway. Yeah, Illusions gets worse around here. So actually, I don't know, maybe this card actually gets crappier with an upkeep cost. Dio Brando, Cover of Winter. It's just an interesting way of looking at old card design, that they put this massive back-breaking upkeep cost to cards that didn't even deserve it. This is a 3-mana snow enchantment with cumulative upkeep of snow mana. If a creature would deal combat damage to you and/or one or more creatures you control, prevent X of that damage, where X is the number of age counters on Cover of Winter. So this card just becomes flat out like unplayable. It's just 3 mana, do nothing, right? Oh, you can put an age counter. Okay, sorry, but we can actually put an age counter on this thing, personally. Well, then it just becomes like a normal card. But not broken. Not broken. It's okay. Okay? Commander playable. No, wait a minute. Is that a downside? No, yeah, you have to pay it. That's okay. Oh, no, but if you put the age counter on it, then it gets bad. Now you have to pay the thing. I don't know, maybe this card is just bad all around. There's just no way of saving it. Dennis! Thank you very much for your super chat. The Psychic Vortex. Play to lose. Psychic Vortex. This is the 4-mana enchantment, Cumulative Upkeep, draw a card. So we just don't draw cards anymore. At the end of each of your turns, sacrifice a land and discard your hand. Okay, now this got worse. This is just straight up bad. This cumulative. Well, by the way, this is not really a cost. This is a cumulative. This is like an upkeep benefit. This show is about the costs around here. Put age counters and never pay for them at upkeep. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You actually could do that. Okay, old boy with Phyrexian etchings. Broken without upkeeps. So triple black enchantment. At the end of your turn, draw a card for each age counter on Phyrexian etchings. Well, it doesn't do anything, right? Because there was no age counters on it. When it's put into a graveyard from play, lose 2 life for each age counter on it. So it just does nothing. This is just a it's just a triple black for an enchantment with no text, more or less. Pretty terrible. Couldn't you just have age counters, but it won't matter if it doesn't have cumulative upkeep? It's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. If you put an age counter on anything, does it naturally gain cumulative upkeep or not? Jotun Grunt. Oh, interesting idea. Jotun Grunt. In some ways, we're making this worse, but in some ways, maybe we're making this better. So it's a 2-mana 4/4 giant soldier, and the cumulative upkeep was to put 2 cards from a single graveyard on the bottom of their owner's library. So in some ways, we are powering this card down because this is supposed to be some graveyard hate card. On the other hand, is like a 4/4 for 2 mana even good enough these days? Then we have like 1-mana 4/5s in the form of like, you know, we have Nethergoyfs and Tarmogoyfs. I don't even know if 2-mana 4/4 even does it for us today, but I mean, it's okay. It's more playable outside of graveyard decks. Okay, we got Pacers Fan Forever with the Mystic Remora. Okay, I think we found our... I don't like that art. Where's my favorite? This is my favorite art. Blue enchantment. Or not a cumulative upkeep. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays for it. Broken! Okay, we found our first broken card. The one card where cumulative upkeep actually sort of mattered in a big way. Hedgeman with me being a smarty pants. Braid of Fire. This does nothing, right? Pretty sure this card does nothing. So, okay, try to everyone, you got to find cards where there's an ability outside of the cumulative upkeep, because this just doesn't exist. It's just it's just a 2-mana do nothing. So let's move on to Bell with Corrosion. Corrosion is a 3-mana enchantment. During your upkeep, put a rust counter on each artifact target opponent controls. If the number of rust counters on an artifact equals or exceeds that artifact's casting cost, we get to destroy it. If Corrosion leaves play, remove all rust counters from the game. Here's, like, this is a card that's probably still bad. It's like a terrible, pernicious deed. And like it's not even guaranteed to even do anything. Don't we have like better cards? I want to say at least even for the 1-mana cards, we have Hidetsugu's Wrath or something. It's like a 3-mana saga, enters the battlefield, destroy everything that's 1 mana. Like that's what this card is, but better. Like, what are the odds you're gonna hit the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th mana? You're not gonna hit those mana costs. It's basically worthless. Yeah, this card still trash with cumulative upkeep removed. Pact of Negation broken. That one doesn't count. Does that count? Do the pacts count? Nah. Okay, all the pacts are broken. We'll just say that. All the pacts. Toads with demonic hordes. You're this old, huh? That's okay. Okay, we have a 6-mana 5/5. Tap, destroy target land at the beginning of your upkeep unless you pay triple black. Tap demonic hordes and sacrifice a land an opponent controls. And like, I think this card is just terrible. Even with that upkeep cost, just worthless. It's just a 6-mana 5/5 with like Pawn's ability attached to it. I don't even know if they design cards like this because it's probably unfun, but it's still not like, it's not crazy broken. It's not like destroying lands by turn 6 is even going to do very much. Not to mention, if you're destroying lands, you're not beating face. If you're not beating face, you're not winning the game. And it can still be like Path to Exiled and so on. Okay, moving on. We got John, the Ritual of Subdual. Thank you very much for your super chat, John. This is a 6-mana enchantment. If a land is tapped for mana, it produces colorless mana instead of any other type. If a land is tapped for mana, so it's mythic. It's hold on. If a land is tapped for mana, it produces colorless mana instead. Is that what Mycosynth Lattice did? Mycosynth, maybe not. Maybe it's in addition. All permanents are artifacts. This card is probably strong. Okay, I'll say this card's probably strong. This card gets better. It's basically like, or is it like Blood Moon? If a land is tapped for mana, it produces colorless. Do you know what? Maybe it's just Blood Moon. It's Blood Moon, Harbinger of the Seas, Magus of the Moon. Harder to play around because obviously affects the basics as well, but it's 6 mana. It's interesting that you can still play your artifacts off this card. You can still play your Eldrazi's off this card. Can we do the same stream with the end step? Sure, we can do that one day. Oh, you mean like as if things didn't stop at end of turn? I think this card would actually see a lot of play. I think it would see more play if it had no upkeep. So all you have to do, you can play your Sharpie magic. You cross out the commune of upkeep and make these old cards actually good. Infernal Darkness from Dr. Nemo. We have a 4-mana enchantment. If a land is tapped for mana, it produces black instead of any other type. This card actually got scarier. Or maybe not. Okay, so it helps players playing black. They don't care. So it's very similar to the green card, but it's cheaper. Like you can just Dark Ritual this thing out like immediately. If a land is tapped for mana, it produces black. It's probably broken. This one's probably a little bit closer to broken. Dio Brando's like, this art is awesome. It's amazing. Okay, next super chat. Kagan with the Wall of Shards. Great with Arcades. Wall of Shards, a 2-mana, 1/8. Defender with Flying. That's it. You know what? I think that's fair. I think if you want a 2-mana, 1/8 Defender with Flying, that is well within the power level of Magic the Gathering right now. Especially since they had the Goma Zoa? I can't remember. It's that 3-mana 0/2 flying. It can block any amount of damage. Like all damage is prevented. It's basically the same thing. It's been no difference whatsoever. So I think this was an opponent gains 1 life. I think if you remove that, it's still okay. Well within the power level of Magic. Corbinek. Inner Sanctum. I actually had this in my skip upkeep though. Ooh. So here we might be building a commander deck today. Okay, we have a 3-mana enchantment. All damage dealt to creatures you control is reduced to 0. Basically the same as all your creatures are indestructible. Very, very playable. I think, and also sinking your turn 3 into this, I think it's quite fair. Maybe it's a little undercosted. Maybe. I don't think it would break the game though. Still, you can still destroy the creatures. You can still trample over the creatures. You can, the creatures, or can you trample over the creatures? Maybe not. I don't know how that works with old damage being reduced, but you definitely can destroy, get around, be unblockable, destroy the Inner Sanctum after blocks. It all works. Okay, Meme Brule with suspend cards, Ancestral Vision. Does that work? Would it just never come off suspend? So you cast suspend, and then on your turn it just doesn't trigger. I don't know if this is considered a cost. I don't think this card works for the show. We did Mystic Grimoire already. Gyre, Force of Nature. So this is 6 mana for an 8/8 with Trample. That's it. I mean, this card's pathetic. Speaking of your upkeep, you have to pay. Otherwise, you'd have to deal 8 damage to yourself, or pay the cost. But like, you know what? 6 mana, 8/8 Trample. I think they have bigger creatures at this point. This isn't even like that good of a card. It's cards like this that inspired this show. I'm like, what if we got rid of the upkeep cost to here? It's still trash. Like, it doesn't change anything. Okay, Dangerous One with the Naked Singularity. Tried to make this work in Hearthstone or high school. HS just means too many things to me. 5 mana. If tap for mana, plains produce red, islands produce green, swamps produce white, mountains produce blue, and forests produce black instead of their other types. I think this would be just a really, really bizarro. It'd be a bizarro world game of Magic the Gathering, but I think it would still work out. It would punish the crap out of players who play monocolor decks. But if you don't play a monocolor deck, I think you're gonna live through this. I hope. I could be dead wrong. Maybe this is just as broken as those other cards that mess with your mana. Dinglebag with Glacial Chasm. Ooh, this is gonna be an interesting one card to evaluate. Okay, this is a land. When it comes into play, you have to sack a land. Creatures you control can't attack, but prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. All damage. It has to be broken. Some decks would just fold to this thing. It would really force a metagame. Like, you need waste. You have to bring in your wastelands. You need everyone needs land destruction and a good heavy amount of it. Because you can't deal with this card. You basically die. Not to mention, it's so easy to bring lands back from the graveyard back to the battlefield. Although, if you keep doing that, you have to sacrifice a land. Yeah, I can see a world where Glacial Chasm is just like a little bit too strong. Steve Cooper, thanks so much for your super chat. The elephant grass and a donation to chat. Elephant grass, because elephants never forget. Green enchantment. Black creatures cannot attack you. Non-black creatures cannot attack you unless their controller pays an additional 2 for each attacking creature. So it's basically like a super propaganda. Is that fair? Probably a strong sideboard card. I would bet. I would bet that this card is fair. It'd be a hoser versus black. Black would hate this damn card. It'd be awful. It'd be the end of them because they don't have a whole lot of enchantment destruction in their existence. So, but I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be overwhelming. Like, it'd be very strong early on. We know Propaganda, Ghostly Prison. They're like pretty slow. This one's faster, but eventually the creatures will be able to attack you. Not to mention there's such an abundance of ways of dealing with enchantments in 2025. Okay, so donate. We did Braid of Fire, Retaliate. We did Braid of Fire already. Sort of disqualified the card because if Braid of Fire just doesn't do anything if you remove the upkeep cost. Z-Man Vader, you're going to get the Phyrexian Soul Gorger. Doesn't have another effect except upkeep because of its stats. Oh, okay. So it's just a 3 mana 8/8. Think that's totally fair. Totally fine. In Magic the Gathering in 2020, like, what do we have? What is the Gigantus Rotting Regisaur? Rotting Regisaur is basically something similar. 3 mana for a 7/6. I don't think 3 mana for an 8/8 is actually too strong for this game whatsoever. Bryce with Contamination. That is an upkeep cost? Oh, I guess so. Okay, 3 mana enchantment. Whenever a land is tapped for mana, it produces black instead of its normal type of mana. Okay, these cards that are really cheap. Probably too strong. Like, you could turn 1, Dark Ritual, Contamination. That's a problem. That's a problem. Everyone at the table is like, unless they're playing black, then they don't have a problem with that. Michael with Parallax Tide. Interesting. Parallax Tide. That's an interesting one. Okay, 4 mana. Enchantment, Fading 5, but we're not going to remove any counters. Remove a fade counter from Parallax Tide to remove target land from the game. When it leaves play, each player returns to play all cards they own removed from the game with Parallax Tide. So basically what it is a 4 mana one-sided Armageddon. That has got to be strong. That definitely got better. 100%. Because you can just remove 4 fading counters, blow up 4 lands. That's probably GG. Every control deck will play this card. Yeah, it's danger, Black Lance Jew, you got it. Better believe it, danger. Chen with Energy Storm. It's a 2-mana enchantment. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by instants and sorcery spells. Ooh, lethal sideboard card. Creatures with flying don't untap during the controller's untap stacks. I do not think that this would be too strong. I think it would, I think it would be a strong card. I think it'd be a very nice card. I don't think it would be a broken card. Jack, late to the show. You're not, nobody's ever late to the show. You're here just on time, Jack. Don't know if it's been done yet. Uktabi Drake. Uktabi. I only know about the orangutan. I didn't know there's Drakes out there in Uktabi. It's a green 2/1 Drake with flying and haste. That's a flying haste 2/1 creature. What is that? It's very Goblin Guide like. I think this would be very strong, but I think it is definitely within the power level of Magic the Gathering now. Especially since there's so many ways to. There's too many Haymaker cards against 1 toughness creatures. It may not even live very long. Like, you might get in 4 damage before an Orcish Bowmasters kills it, a Renin 6 kills it, a Lava Dart, Plague Engineer. So I actually think it's pretty... I think this is actually quite fine. It doesn't have any, like, mind-blowing stats. It's just literally 2 power that's really quickly. It can't defend itself. It doesn't have any additional utility or value. Any removal spell. Like, if you're on the draw and I go land pass, you play your Uktabi Drake and attack and I fatal push it. Well, you got nothing. That's all it is. It's a meaningless 2/1 creature. Also very easily blocked by other flyers. I remember this being a 3/3. No, this is not a 3/3. No 3/3s here at all. Christopher B wants to get in on the show. The Timbermare. Timbermare is a 4-mana 5/5 elemental with haste. And then when Timbermare comes into play, tap all other creatures. I think this would be a really cool card. I think this would be a great, interesting card. It's a 4-mana 5/5. It would make aggro, like mid-range aggro, actually good, because you have some means of tapping everything down and attacking for 5. It actually looks quite fine. Well, I understand the echo cost is awkward. Because it's just basically 4 mana for a 5/5, deal 5 damage, and clear the way. I think I like this card even with the echo cost attached to it. Without the echo cost, definitely super playable. But not broken. Definitely not tipping the scales in that direction. I'm sorry, Belle. We did Elephant Grass. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for you, Belle. I'm going to keep an eye out for you. You got a super chat. Okay, well, let's go to Kagan with why not Eldrazi Monument? That's a good question. It's an Eldrazi card. Probably has to be broken if there's no upkeep cost. 5 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible. And that's it. I think that's okay. What's wrong with that? Beginning of your upkeep, you can sack a creature if you get... this card is damn strong. Oh, they have flying too. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible. And this is any creature. It's not even Eldrazi's. Okay, maybe this is too strong. Where do you go? Okay, this is... Okay, let me put this straight. 1-on-1 Magic, I actually think this is still crap. I don't think this would see any play. None whatsoever. But in Commander, probably would be like one of the best it'd be one of the most premier casual cards in the game. But you know what? I think it is okay. I think we can live with this card. Okay, Bell has a replacement. The Inner Sanctum. Okay, Inner Sanctum is a 3-mana enchantment. Oh, we did that one. Yeah, it's great. It's too good. You gotta find another one. Okay, B Lore with Urza's Blueprint. 6-mana artifact. Tap, draw a card. This is terrible. Like, this is so bad. Aren't there like many cards that are better than this? I swear there's a 4-mana version. There's like a 4-mana card out there, tap, draw a card. And I'm not talking about the One Ring either. This card's awful. Okay, Pedgeman. Found an interesting one. Out of Time. Oh, time is ticking, huh? 3-mana enchantment. When out of time enters the battlefield, untap all creatures, then phase them out until out of time leaves the battlefield. Put a time counter on out of time for each creature phased out this way. Oh, and then it never vanishes. So you know what? This would be very similar to a lot of those storage cards where you like store creatures under an enchantment or a land, and then when the land or enchantment pops, you get the cards back. Except this has extra steps because we don't have a means of getting rid of the card with vanishing at the beginning of your upkeep. Remove a time. Yeah, so there's no time counters on here. Or there's time counters, but they don't get removed. You'd have to actually blow the card up. I actually think the card would be stone cold terrible. And it's about untap all creatures, then phase them out until... Oh, no, it's a board wipe. Oh, maybe it is interesting. Okay, no, you know what? I take it back. Actually, it's just a 3-mana board wipe, like a lot of other board wipes. But it's like... Okay, so this card does become playable. It's like... what's it called? Detention... Untimely... No, detention... It's not white enchantment. No, it's not detention. Something detention. No. There's like a 3-mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile all creatures that are like, all non-land permanents 2 mana or less, or something like that. I don't remember what it was called though. Benjamin. Tomb. Stone. Stairwell. Oh, how many tombstones are there? Tombstone. Stair. Gets around death triggers and is destructible too? Yep, absolutely. Okay, 4 mana. For an enchant world, during each upkeep, each player puts into play a tomb spawn token for each summon card, I guess creature card, in their graveyard. Treat these tokens as a 2/2 black creatures that are unaffected by summoning sickness. What the hell does this card do? Okay, you still get the 2/2 for each creature. Okay, each player creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token with haste named Tomb Spawn for each creature card in their graveyard at the beginning of each end step. And when Tombstone Stairwell leaves the battlefield, destroy all tokens created by Tombstone Stairwell. They can't be regenerated. I guess that's each player gets one. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't see. I don't see how it's super broken. Okay, Kagan, you want planar chaos. You love the chaos, don't you? Planar. Oops. Planar. You said planar K doesn't exist. Oh, no, it does exist. Sorry about that. I'm an idiot. Might Danger, you say. 3-mana enchantment. At the beginning, okay, no upkeep cost. Whenever a player plays a spell, that player flips a coin. If they lose the flip, counter that spell. But it only happens half the time. Also, it can affect your cards too. I say not danger. I think it's... I'm not going to say it's fair. I think it's jank. Like, half your stuff resolves. Half your stuff gets countered. But also affects you. Also, it's almost like you wasted a turn to put this thing onto the battlefield. Yeah, it hits you too. It's symmetrical. So it just goes to show, though, at the beginning of your upkeep, you know what? If it had no upkeep cost, this card would still be okay. It would still work. Would not be broken. All right, if you want to play Sharpie Magic and get rid of the upkeep costs to old crappy cards and turn them into new ones, I tell you where you can buy them from. You can get them at FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite local game store. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off old Commander products, savings and displayed in cart, not to mention. So you can get all your singles. You can also get Innistrad Remasters. You like Innistrad? You like it remastered? Well, you can get it at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu, though, to get 5% off all your purchases, and it supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online on Magic Online. I love playing Magic Online. Pioneer, Standard, Modern, Legacy, playtesting with all the cards when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_4KA. Okay, back to obscene cards. Created by removing upkeep costs. I think we did Reality Twist, Toilet Duck. Lewis. Mana Crypt. You don't say. So this, what is Mana Crypt? It's just a 0 mana Soul Ring, right? 0 mana Soul Ring. That was an easy one. Bryce with the super chat. Hall of Mists. Sorry, Halls. of Mist. Halls of Mists is a land. No creature can attack if it attacked during its controller's last turn. No creature can attack. I don't get what this card is trying to tell me. No creature can attack if it attacked during its controller's... Huh? Creatures that attack during their controller's last turn... Oh, I see. So if I attacked with a creature, then I'm not allowed to attack with it next turn. Yeah, we only get to attack every 2 turns. I think this card is a bit weird, but I think it's okay. Like, it doesn't tap for mana. I could be totally wrong. Is this card any good? It's $2.80. So the financial market would say it is not good. It is quite terrible, in fact. Spectral Maniac. Have we done Dreams of the... I don't think we've done Dreams of the Dead. 4 mana enchantment, pay 2 mana, return target white or black creature card from your graveyard to play. That creature gains commute of upkeep. This card technically doesn't change, right? Because the card itself doesn't have an upkeep cost. It's the card that you bring back that has an upkeep cost. No, let's just assume that that doesn't have a upkeep cost either. If the creature would leave play, removed from the game instead, it's just a 4 mana reanimate card. Return target white. This card it's probably still bad. I think the card is still, it's just a bad reanimator card. I think. Maybe there's no such thing as like perpetual reanimator in blue, because if you have a lot of mana, then you could, in theory, return a lot of creatures. Yeah, that I might be underestimating that point. Maybe it goes from like bad to like playable. Yeah, 6 mana reanimate, okay. But repeatable or reanimate, probably strong casual card. Strong casual. Still not good in competitive. We did Mystic Remora. Next up, Rotting Regisaur. I didn't think about that card with an upkeep cost. We looked at this earlier, but I compared it to that 3 mana 8/8. Yeah, 3 mana 7/6. That's it. It's technically worse than that 3 mana 8/8. This card is already not really all that playable. I don't think the discarding a card even changes anything. Almond with the title Control. Gonna control the tide around there. 3 mana enchantment. Any player may pay 2 or 2 life to counter target red or green spell. Really? Any player? Oh no. Plays ability as an interrupt. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. F's in chat to the red or green player at the table. Any player, it's basically 2 life. Okay, this card is probably broken. That's too strong of a hoser. Way too strong of a hoser. I would play that in every commander deck. I might even play that in the main deck of like any well, I guess maybe I wouldn't play in the main deck of any competitive deck, but definitely would be a sideboard exclusive. Yeah, Gruul player is no more. Lesthian with Royal Decree. 4 mana. Whenever a swamp... It's an enchantment, by the way. Whenever a swamp, mountain, black permanent, or red permanent becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to that permanent's controller. Definitely fair. Definitely nothing broken here. Just a good old-fashioned Magic the Gathering hoser. Oh, red player, you want to speed up the game with damage? Well, I'm going to damage you! Every single time you tap any mountains for mana. And do you know what? It doesn't even affect all their mana base. Like, if you have a Blackcleave Cliffs, that's not a mountain or a swamp, right? We have so many dual lands and regular lands, non-basic lands that are technically not swamps or mountains. So actually, a huge chunk of their mana base still doesn't even deal damage to them. We got Retaliate with Hibernation's End. 5 mana enchant. We got Polar Bears. Oh, this is what I see outside my window here in Canada. Whenever you pay Hibernation Ends Commutative Upkeep, which you won't, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to the number of age counters on Hibernation's End and put it into play. If you do, shuffle your library. Technically, it does nothing, right? It's 5 mana enchantment that does nothing because we have no upkeep costs. Anyone that doesn't have a card yet? Michael, you got something? Royal Decree plus Urborg? Oh, you're talking. Yeah, put it. Put an Urborg in play. Everyone has swamps. You made an artificial mana barbs. I think that's what it's called. Hexenor, Nature's Wrath. Nature's Wrath is okay. So 6 mana. Whenever a player puts a swamp or black permanent into play, they sacrifice a swamp or black permanent. Ooh, this is an evil card. Whenever a player puts an island or blue permanent in play, they sacrifice an island or blue permanent. Oh no! Evil card! Evil card! Island. So if I put an island, you know what? It's a very annoying hosing card. Probably it's fine though. I don't think there's anything wrong with this one. Just because of the cost. Whenever a player puts an island or blue permanent into play, they sacrifice an island or blue permanent. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to play against this card to be sure, but it's 6 mana. Like I imagine, let's say they get to 6 mana and I have 6 or so mana. Like I can probably start sacrificing things to come into play, but it's just gonna be like a really strong card. I just don't know if it's too strong at that point of the game, at that stage of the game. The stream showed me again how many niche cards I play. Yeah, that's right. Everyone does. Okay, okay, Samurai Motoko with Diabolical. Is that a card or you just... Oh, that's not a card. That was a response! Okay, Evan with Mist of Stagnation. It's a 5-mana enchantment. Okay, there's no upkeep cost. No, there's no cost here, right? Okay, let's just say this was the cost. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps a permanent for each card in his or her graveyard. Wow, cool card. Each player's upkeep. You have more cards in your graveyard, you get to untap. You basically, with this on the stack, you could tap things, tap creatures and activated abilities, and then you'll get to untap them for all the cards in your graveyard. Cool. Very, very interesting idea. Okay, Kagan, what do you got for us? The Volunteer Reserves. Let's show some banding, some love. Volunteer Reserves. Didn't know they had banding. Oh, I messed this up. Okay, 2 mana for a 2/4 soldier, and it's got banding. That's interesting. That is a very... I think the card's quite strong, to be honest. I don't know if I would say this is stronger than Tarmogoyf, but it's okay. It'd actually go from probably close to unplayable to like a okay card. It would see play. It would see Pioneer play, for sure. Has the One Ring been done? It actually hasn't. Okay, we're just turning a more broken card into a even more broken card. It's indestructible, you draw cards, and also, oh wow, you don't actually lose life at your upkeep. What is banding? You get to choose how creatures are going to deal damage to your creatures when things are blocked. Sort of an OP ability. Blacklands Geo with Calciderm. 4 mana for a 5/5 beast with Shroud. And that's it. I think that's totally fine. We could use some more 4 mana 5/5 beast with Shroud. It's not even clear to me that this card is even any good if you get rid of the vanishing part of it. Like, let's be real, Coffee Crew. Vanishing 4 is like an eternity in Magic the Gathering these days. Like, the game will be over before the vanishing hits 0. And this card still doesn't see play. I mean, basically what it is like, put vanishing to 10. Does it change anything? Answer is no. So actually, I think the card is, maybe the card's underwhelming. Okay, we got Cameron Cole. Thank you very much for your super chat. Corrosion. Those pesky artifacts. Oh, we did this one, Cameron. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was what we did it very early. Yeah, I actually think this card is terrible. It's really, really bad. It's what is it? It's Hidetsugu's something, revenge or something that it has a very similar effect, which just makes this worse. Nola is like, I'm a pesky artifact. Westland plays Magic with Priest of the Blood Rite. This is a 5-mana 2/2 human cleric. When it enters the battlefield, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Absolutely fine. Probably not even that good still. You're basically paying 5 mana for a 5/5 that when it enters the battlefield, you get a grizzly bear. That's basically what I'm reading here. Benovsky with what would happen? Ooh, that's a good question. What does happen with stasis? So 2 mana, so you don't skip untap steps now at the beginning. Oh, sorry, no, players just skip the untap step. I don't know. Did the card get better or worse? Like, probably better. Players skip their untap steps. Who would use this best? Yeah, eternal stasis. Probably it's very, very strong. Probably it's strong. Like, I don't know any reason why it wouldn't. No, it's not Hidetsugu's second right. It's like Hidetsugu's something something. Okay, let's go with B Jackstraw with Psychic Vortex. 4 mana. At the end of each of your turns, sack a land and discard. Oh yeah, no, we looked at this card. Yeah, it turns the card to absolute stone cold trash. Yeah, 4/4 error, stasis error. Hidetsugu's consumes all. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's what's so very similar to corrosion. One part of corrosion, that is. The only useful part of corrosion. Toilet Dock, Reality Twist. We did Reality Twist. Tabernacle of Pendlevale is just more broken. I don't even have to look at that card. I don't know if you got a card. Okay, I'll look at Tabernacle for you. Tabernacle of Pendlevale. Who got Cameron Cole got not Snipe, but Cameron was like late. If you got another card, Cameron, you just let me know. I'll keep an eye out for you. Okay, this is not Tabernacle. Tabernacle. The Tabernacle of Pendlevale. All creatures actually it does nothing. All creatures have at the beginning of your upkeep sacrifice this creature unless you pay 1. So this is technically does nothing. It's just a legend. It's literally okay. I thought it would be broken. I am corrected. The card is just a legendary land with no text box on it. I take it back, Coffee Crew. I made a horrible mistake. I didn't know everything was in the same block of text. I screwed up. Okay, we'll give Belle another card. Thought Lash. Thought Lash is a 4-mana enchantment. I guess we just go straight here. Remove the top card of your library from the game. Prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. I think that's pretty cool. It's interesting. It's probably broken, right? Upkeep, remove the top card of your library from the game. Maybe not. I don't think this Commute of Upkeep is even that strong of an effect. Remove the top card of your library from the game. Prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. I was just thinking in a 60-card game, this like gains you 40 life, theoretically. Commander, it gains you basically something like 90 life, more or less. Mr. Cheese Poof, how dare you get 1 card wrong out of hundreds of thousands of cards, for shame. Oh, it's not 1 card, Mr. Cheese Poof. It's actually like usually a few cards every single day. It's usually how it is. You mill instead of taking damage. Yeah, but eventually I think the card is just fine. Honestly, I don't know if it makes the card that much better that you remove the upkeep costs. This plus the Reanimator enchantment. No, but you remove the card from the game. You don't put him in the graveyard. Okay, super chats. Jack Solaris. You've got the circling vultures. Circling. Be fair these days without the upkeep cost. There are similar stat lines that still have restrictions. True, that's true. True. We have a black 3/2 flyer. If it's put into if circling vultures is in your hand, you may discard it. Play this ability as an instant. That's so weird. This card, okay, honestly, good, but not. I don't think it's broken. Okay, maybe it's broken. It would. Okay, I know broken is a strong word. It would be a better version of Delver of Secrets, because you don't have to, like, there's no work to get this thing going. It would be a very, very strong card. I don't know if it would actually be broken. It would make a very strong archetype even stronger. I don't know if it's ban-worthy is what I'm getting at. Like, I don't think it's ban-worthy. I baited Monk with Mind Harness. I love this because it's fun in Commander. It's a blue enchant creature. Play only a red or green creature. Gain control of enchanted creature. Holy moly! It's basically removal and you steal the damn thing. That is so rude. Yeah, that would be broken. It's a very that is a very interesting card to become broken. We did do Glacial Chasm. That card is disgusting. Disgustingly broken. Cameron, you got a replacement card? Keeping an eye out for you, Cameron Cole. No, I don't see one. Julia with Defense of the Hearts. The whole thing. During upkeep, if one of your opponents controls 3. I mean, it's basically the whole paragraph gets removed, right? Even if that is a disadvantage. Okay, hold on. Blackland Studio says Circling Vultures is busted in Living End / Living End decks. Living Death. Really? If it's in your hand, you may discard it. I don't think that's that good. I've determined all the pacts are broken. I just basically said, Tommy Siddons suggested Pact of Negation. I'm like, okay, all the pacts are broken. Not particularly interesting. The Friendly Joker. Not to be mistaken with the Evil Joker. Long time no see. How about Archfiend of the Dross? Does it even have an upkeep? Oh, yeah, it has something. Oh, yeah, okay, it has the oil counters. 4 mana, 6/6 flyer. Enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. At the beginning, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, the controller loses 2 life. I think this card would be completely fair without this removing an oil thing crap. And I'll tell you why. I've played against this card a million times. They have never lost on upkeep. That's never happened before. I've never seen it happen. It's never happened for me. I die first before Archfiend of the Dross ever dies to their own damn upkeep trigger. So I would just assume that this card doesn't matter. It would, like, the gameplay changes none at all if you remove the downside. This oil counter thing. The card plays just probably practically speaking, the exact same way. How many people want to mention Pact of Negation? I said they're all broken. All the pacts. Cameron Cole's like, the only 2 cards I can think of are Glacial Chasm or Phyrexian. Did we do Phyrexian Soul Gorger? Nah, we did that one. Damn. Sorry about that, Cameron. Okay, I'm going to donate your super chat then. I'll donate it to, we'll give Benjamin Berkeley a second card. World Gorger Dragon. This thing has a upkeep cost? 6 mana for a 7/7. There's the battlefield. There's no upkeep cost. We'll give it to Almond with Kuru. Pit Lord. This is a 9 mana 9/9. Pay 1 life. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. This is fair. It's just fair. There's nothing wrong with this. 9 mana for a 9/9 creature to be allowed to do whatever the hell you want for that amount of mana. It's basically a god as far as I'm concerned. A god amongst non-demons. I guess it's the devil. It can just wipe anybody out at will. Okay, Dinglebag. We did Hollow Mists. Have to be illegal with my last one. Yeah, there's always somebody being illegal. The old fogey. Old fogey here. Okay, remember, this was super chatted, so they can name silver border cards. 2 mana for a 7/7. That's it. That's okay. 3 mana for a 7/7. I think that's okay. 2 mana for a 7/7. I think that becomes strong. At that point, because like on the play, it's like it reminds me of Hogak, but with no work. Like you don't have to work to get it online. Okay, we have Scatherialt with Breath of Dreams. Four mana for an enchantment. Green creatures each require an additional cumulative upkeep of 1 mana. Green creatures. I think the card is still bad. I think if you remove the cumulative upkeep, I think this card is too late. I think the card is too late. Yeah, it probably picks off a lot of mana dorks or small creatures that don't matter at this point of the game, but still. Jack Torborg. Did we do I don't think we did Solitary Confinement. We did other cards similar to it. 3 mana. Skip your draw step. You have Shroud. Prevent all combat damage to be dealt to you. Broken! Absolutely broken. It danger. Super danger. Probably danger. Yeah, it danger. Next up. Is there anyone at this point that hasn't got a card yet? Maybe Mr. Very Smart, not sure. Cosmic Larva. Phasing is before you untap. I'm sort of just excluding the whole paragraph if it includes the upkeep cost to it. Cosmic Larva, 3 mana, 7/6 with Trample. That's it. Totally fine. Not broken whatsoever. Okay, who doesn't have 2 cards yet? John. We did Elephant Grass. Okay, how about Peacekeeper? Does that have an upkeep cost? Whale of Darkness? Peacekeeper, 3 mana, 1/1. Creatures cannot attack. Totally fine. I mean, this isn't even that big of an upkeep cost, right? It's just 2 mana. The card costs 3. So it's going to do exactly as it says. We did Mystic Remora. Cormac with Dystopia. 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a white or green permanent. Okay, that's probably broken. That's probably too strong. If you have each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a white or green permanent. That is too big of a hoser. Just play this thing past. You start having to sacrifice your entire board. It's basically it's like commutative. If I can stack these, it's commutative permanent sacrifice. What else do we have here? Blacklands Geo Mon-Fri. Mon-Fri is a 5 mana 5/4 with flying. Oh yeah. Not much to say there, to be honest. Zeb Stone with Contamination. Did we do that one? I think we did that one. Yeah, we did that one. Alex Bruce, Pit Raptor. 4 mana 4/3 Mercenary Flying First Strike. Terrible, to be honest. It's not even good. Wait, I mean, that's it. Being for upkeep, you have to sack it unless you paid 4. Card's terrible. Straight up donut. Old boy with Shisato. Whispering Hunter. 4 mana 2/2. Legendary Snake Warrior. Whenever Shisato Whispering Hunter deals combat damage to a player, that player skips their next untap step. That looks very strong. Is it broken though? It looks good. That's all I have to say. Jess. Deranged Hermit. I would bet that this card is fine by today's standards, It's just a 5-mana 1/1, enters the battlefield. You get 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, and the squirrels get +1/+1. So it's 5 mana for 5 creatures. I think it would be good. I think it would be. I do think it would be strong, but I don't think it'd be OP. Especially since you can still kill the deranged hermit. It's just a 1/1 creature, and then all the tokens they all shrink. All the tokens they face shrinkage around there. You still don't have a card, Toilet Dog? What, you get disqualified a million times? Draco. We didn't look at Reality Twist yet, by the way. Reality Twist. I thought we did. Oh, maybe we looked at the... is there something called Twisted Reality? Reality? Is that... No, it doesn't exist. Okay, I was thinking of the artifact. Okay, blue enchantment. Instead of their normal mana, plains produce red, swamps produce green, mountains produce white, and forests produce black. Probably super fun on card. I want to say, or maybe, okay, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what playing against this card does. It's very possible it just messes everything up. I will tell you this much. If Reality Twist was in the metagame, no one would play monocolored decks. Nobody. It would just be plain stupid. You'd be too weak to Reality Twist. Can't do it. Retaliate says Dark Confidant. I swear it does something. You mean it like attacks for 2? 2 mana for a 2/1 does nothing. You get rid of the entire the entire ability is removed. If you can even consider that a downside. Mason. We did Jochin Grunt. Substone. Egon. The God of Death. There's no way this one was said yet. You're right. A 3-mana 6/6. It's a god with Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you can't, sacrifice Egon and draw a card. Oh, so that's the part that... So we just have a 3-mana 6/6 with Death Touch. That's insane! Absolutely insane. Also, it's an artifact on the other side. For a black, at the beginning of your upkeep, mill card. What was the downside? It's 3-mana 6/6 Death. We have a 3-mana Grave Titan. Sort of. In a way. Benjamin Berkeley with Illusionary Terrain. Blue enchantment. All basic lands of one type become basic lands of a different type of your choice. Broken! That's good. Yeah, I think that one's a good one. Basically, mess up monocolor decks. And choose. Oh no, you choose 2 basic land type. Basic lands of the first chosen type are the second. Oh, so you get to change. You get to change what it's going to be. Cool. Gojo with the Arctic Nishoba. We have a 6-mana 6/6 with trample. And when it's put into a graveyard from play, you gain 2 life for each age counter on it, which would be no age counters. Terrible card. Even if you get rid of the commutative upkeep. Bob doesn't have an upkeep cost. Well, the cost is you put a card in your hand, you lose life. Like I understand what they were going for. You know, I get it. I get it. It's not, you know, it's not the cleanest cost thing. Look, people have lost to their Dark Confidant, all right? I've won many a game because my opponent played a Dark Confidant. Raznab with Gargantuan Gorilla. 7 mana for a 7/7 ape. Then we have tap, deals damage equal to its power to target creature. That creature deals damage equal to its power. So just fight. It's just fighting things. Awful. 7 mana for a 7/7 fight creature. Discussing this with a mate, he said contamination. We did it already. It's actually been mentioned like 4 times now. Michael, yeah, the cost is greatness at any cost. Well of Darkness. Worms of Earth. Could be strong in stacks decks. 5 mana. Ugh, I'm not reading this. Screw the ancient scripture. Players can't play lands. Lands can't enter the battlefield. That's it? So this is it. We're stuck at whatever lands we have. So if players can't play lands and lands can't enter the battlefield. Wow, not even from the graveyard. It's probably really strong. Probably really strong. If I were to take a random guess. Christopher B with, you want Howl Pack Alpha. Howl Pack Alpharinos. You want werewolves for some reason? So you want the other side. There's no downside to this thing. It's disqualified. It's only upside, right? You get tokens. Bell with Mesmeric Trance. Mesmeric Trance, 3 mana, enchantment, pay a blue, discard a card, draw a card. Wow, that's interesting. I think that there are some decks that'll just love this thing. Just play this next turn, pay a blue, you know, basically loot. But it does suck up your mana. I guess you pass the turn, and then if your opponent does nothing, you go ham with this card. What's interesting, it does nothing the turn it comes into play. Like, absolute stone cold nothing. On the other hand, it could be a huge enabler for Delve, Reanimation, maybe. I'm optimistic to see what it would do. I think it is probably strong but fair. Jack with another super chat. I really appreciate it. The Cover of Winter. Good with a lot of snow mana. Oh, we did that one. Sorry about that. That one is done. If you have another card, Jack, I'll keep an eye out for you. But otherwise, I will donate it to Jack Torborg. Live Carnivorous Death Parrot becomes better than the best card ever printed. Stormcrow. Death Parrot? What's it? Okay, this was technically a super chat, so I'll give you this one. It's a 2-mana 2/2 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Carnivorous Death Parrot, unless you say it's flavor text. So it's just a 2-mana 2/2 flyer, more or less. For the 5th time, we've done Mystic Remora, damn it. How can we get this deep into the show and not do Mystic Remora? It's impossible. It's impossible. Spectral Maniac with Rakdos Headliner. 2 mana for a 3/3 Devil with haste. That's it. Honestly, I think it's crap. It's very bad. 2 mana 3/3 with haste. Super below the power level of Magic the Gathering at this point. It's not even close. Next up, Chen with Substaining Spirit. Or it's Sustaining Spirit. 2 mana for a 0/3 Angel Spirit. Damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces to 1 instead. Totally playable! In fact, I think a lot of people would play this. It's crappy Worship, really. I think Worship is a stronger card than this. This is a lot more vulnerable to removal spells. Way more vulnerable to removal spells. Julio with the Get Rog Monster. I thought the upkeep cost was like a good thing. 5 mana for a 6/6 with Death Touch. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. Upkeep sack. Yeah, it's like I actually think I think the card gets worse if you remove the upkeep cost. It was a feature, not a bug, to have this upkeep on the Gitrog monster. Who else has no 2 cards yet? Lesthian with Varchild. The War Rider. 2 mana for a 3/4. Trample and Rampage 1. Looks good, actually. I think this would see some play. It would see some play. It's still not broken, because it's not beyond Tarmogoyf power. Like, for me, Tarmogoyf is at least a 4/5 all the time for 2 mana, sometimes a 5/6, or at least it's going to be a 5/6 by the 3rd turn. So, I mean, if it's not outclassing Tarmogoyf, thumbs up. It's okay by 2025 standards. Have we done the OG Nicol Bolas? The OG! Let's get the OG image. Okay, so 8 mana for a 7/7 flyer. And if an opponent is damaged by Nicol Bolas, they discard their entire hand. That's it. You don't have an upkeep cost. I don't think this card's very good. I don't think this card was ever good. But you know what? I didn't play at the time of Legends back in 1994. Hexenort with Earthlink. Do we have a super chat here? Oh, this was the unfortunately failed super chat. Earthlink 6 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller sacrifices a land. Sure! Why not? It's probably completely backbreaking. And the old upkeep cost was super playable anyway. Okay, Jack wants redemption here. Soul Echo. I don't think it's been done. So white Axe enchantment. When you play Soul Echo, put X echo counters on it. You do not lose the game as a result of having less than 1 life. That's it. You know, so it's a it's a 2 mana worship. You do not lose the game as a result of having less than 1 life. But you could lose the game for other reasons. This probably gets really good. Arguably, maybe broken, because you could just pay it for double white and that's it. Also, it's better than Worship. Worship you could win if there's no creatures on board or if you drained your opponent. This one doesn't care even if you get drained. If you go to -1 life, you're still not dead. Mr. Very Smart asks, what's N2CY short for? It's no 2 cards yet. Some people go NCY for no card yet, which lets me know that I have not let them participate in the show. And the N2CY means they did not get 2 cards yet. Like Seb over here with the Minion of Leshrac. I want to say we've done this one. Oh, I guess we didn't. 7 mana for a 5/5 demon minion with pro black. Tap, destroy target creature or land. Fine by me. 100%. Tobias says, did we do Parallax Wave? We actually did do Parallax Wave. Super strong. Probably broken. Super, super strong. Gojo, Vexing Sphinx. Sphinxies. 3 mana for a 4/4 with flying, and when it dies, draw a card for each age counter on it, which would be 0 cards. Honestly, 3 mana for a 4/4, not very strong anymore. Pretty bad. Mr. Before, after, no 2 cards yet, delaying shield. Mr. Very Smart, you've been part of the show for so long. I'm surprised that you didn't know what that stood for. 4 mana for an enchantment. If you would be dealt damage, put that many shield counters on delaying shield. That's it. That's it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a shield counter. Well, you can't. For each delay counter removed this way, you lose 1 life unless you... So this doesn't... the card does absolutely nothing. It's just a 4 mana brick. For the most part. We did Thought Lash. Sean. No card yet. Abhorrent Overlord. 7 mana for a 6/6 demon with flying. Is this a bit downside? Enters the battlefield, put a number of 1/1 harpies on with flying on the battlefield equal to... This doesn't even have a down... Oh, no. Oh, the bottom is the downside. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. I think this card's okay. I don't even think the sacking a creature thing even matters at this stage of the game. It's probably very, very easy to pay for. Doesn't it just prevent all damage, though? You know what? If there's an so here's the thing of the show. If I remove the upkeep ability, I remove this whole text box, so it does nothing. So that's how I'm treating this show. That's why I'm like basically deleting the whole paragraph. You can't have both. Yeah, we did Pacekeeper. I don't think we did Polar Kraken. This had a upkeep cost? It's a bazillion mana for an 11/11. It's got trample. Comes to play, you gotta... No, it comes into play tapped. That's it. I think it's still worthless trash. Nothing's changed. Can remove the commutative upkeep. Still no good, Polar Kraken. Marv with Draught. Draw has a 4 mana enchantment. Oh, I can't read the ancient scripture. Okay, enchantment. Spells cost an additional sacrifice a swamp to cast for each black mana symbol in their mana costs. Activated ability costs an additional sacrifice a swamp to activate for each black mana symbol in their activation costs. Probably fine. It's a good sideboard card. Or don't play your black spells. We did Glacial Chasm. I'm not ignoring you, Jeffrey. It's just we did Glacial Chasm already. Ooh, Dofscape. Does that have an upkeep cost? It didn't have an upkeep cost. 6 mana. Whole thing gets eliminated. Whole thing is gone. David says, has anyone said musician? I don't think anyone said musician at all. Loves that one. 3 mana for a 1/3 human wizard. Tap, put a music counter on target creature. If it doesn't have at the beginning of your upkeep, destroy this creature unless you pay 1 for its music ability on it. It gains that ability. Still stone cold garbage. Did not change. I mean, it's gimmicky. I'll give you that. Nightmare Incarnation. I got nothing. Unholy Annex. This is not really a downside, right? At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. It's not even an upkeep cost. Bell with Sunken City. This is your your 3rd card now. Blue enchantment. At the blue creatures get +1/+1. Honestly, I don't even think it's that good. It's probably fine, you know. It's just an anthem effect for 2 mana, like no big deal. Pyron, unstable mutation. I could always say stasis, but that's too easy. No, well, we did that one already anyway. Blue enchantment, enchant creature. It gets +3/+3. And that's it. You know what? That's totally fair. I honestly don't even think it's that good. Well, that's it for today. I hope you had a lot of fun. It was an interesting show, wasn't it? I guess we could do that with other aspects of the game where we remove the downside to see if they're still good. And as we saw in this show, tons of these cards were still stone cold unplayable. It's amazing where Magic design has come from. You know, it's the power creep. You remove the downside from old cards. They're still worthless. As usual, we do the show 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please join me. Be there or be square. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you use Super Chat to be part of the show, or even Super Chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thank you, my coffee crew, for being here today. People like Christopher B., Steve Cooper, Little Dead Fly, Connor, David Hauer. We got Tobias, Benjamin Berkeley, Jonathan, Oldboy, David Sampson, Dr. Nemo, Cameron Cole, Cutsy, Ricardo, Bell Spectral Maniac, Michael, Hexanort, and Memfaxo, and more. Because you are the crew that makes the show what it is every day. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.